Wayrest, the runaway queen, the thief, the arms dealer, uniter of Tamriel. We are doing 3 very lovely recipes. So I will go ahead and I will do the intro to all of them, because when I put them together, we will go ahead and show you the final product, which is all 3 dishes. I was originally going to do this with a leg of lamb, but it just, when I decided to do the river salmon, I went ahead and I'm going to include the double baked potatoes and the leeks as well. So we have the double baked potatoes. The humble potato is one of Skyrim's staple ingredients, found growing on every farm. Like many fruits and vegetables, potatoes store surprisingly well in barrels. While considered more practical than valuable, and not good for much more than eating, this recipe makes them taste like they're worth their weight in septums. Potatoes are actually an extraordinarily versatile tuber, but that's the story that goes with them. So as you can see, this is the final product. And it's actually a twice baked potato, so it's a very standard recipe. You're going to see that a lot where you have your standard tavern fare. So we're going to lay out the ingredients and let's get cooking. Okay, so like I said, this is actually a very, very straightforward recipe, so anybody should be able to do this, which is nice because we do get to give it a little bit of flair then. They do include that, you can see it at the bottom of the page if you purchase the book, where they have little suggestions and whatnot. So here's a very simple recipe. It's basically twice baked potatoes, but it has a little bit of the taste of Tamriel in it. So you go ahead and you bake these at 400 for about an hour. And my cheat, which isn't in the cooking book, this is just something I knew how to do from years of making baked potatoes. Cut them first along the seam, and then you poke the holes so that the steam escape, obviously. You don't want all of the steam coming out the sides. And then since you already cut around the seam, A, they cook more evenly, and B, when you do go to split them in half, they do just split. So that's nice. So as you can see, I did pre-cut it. That was before it went in the oven. I cooked at 400 for about an hour. It's until the knife goes cleanly through. And then we're going to be scooping these out. So clean and dry the potatoes, pierce several times, etc., etc. I learned to move the book off screen, so you do cook them without any sort of anything. Now, to add a little bit of extra flavor, it says go ahead and do the Stormcloak seasoning. So I had that soaking in the butter, which is how you make an herbed butter, and then it occurred to me that I would want to put that in the video. Since I'm doubling the recipe, that is just fine. Okay, so we actually ran out of film there, which was funny. A real thing that you can do on a digital camera, but that's fine because I, like I said, have extra potatoes. I wasn't just going to bake off 2, even though I do the 2 portions. What I do is freeze things off. So what you actually need is a 1/4 cup of the cream. You have a 1/4 cup of your sharp cheddar. Just because of the way that I'm leaning over this, it's actually easier for me to measure into a coffee cup. So you have your herbed butter in there, which you now know how to make. You know that the average coffee cup has roughly the same diameter as a measuring cup. So in a pinch, should you ever have huge amounts of, like you want to measure off 2 cups of something off the drop, you kind of get good at eyeballing things. And then we just pour that on in there. And then I'm going to need, I think we're doubling the recipe. It was close, so my herbed butter. And then we go, just mix it up for the rest of the potatoes. And we have a little bit more potato to put in here. Now, I'm going to say, like I said a couple times, that I may not have in this particular video. So, apologize if I repeat myself. Again, all we're going to do is cut this guy open. For me, this is again. For you, this is not. And we're going to scoop out the insides. Now you do want to add the rest of your melted butter. Just brush that onto the potato before it goes in. So prior to cooking the potatoes the first time, it's a good idea to brush them with butter because it does make for a crispier skin. You can see that this got a little bit difficult as the potatoes cooled somewhat to actually get the insides out there. That is no big deal. And you can, you can do the mixture, like, really get that all mixed up before you scoop out the potatoes. You can do it after. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect the flavor very much. Now, you can leave some potato in there. It'll simply bake down. That's fine. And then we're going to scoop the filling back into the potato, as you can see here. And what we're going to do, these are a little bit harder to mash because they did go ahead and cool. What I had to do was transfer some files off my phone. I was just recording away. And I just got in Uncharted, which I don't love the setup when I'm doing a PS. I have to get whatever they're called, a cat or something like that, to record off of my TV. I just tossed it up onto the same setup as this because I happen to have it, which is great if you're doing cooking videos. It was okay for Uncharted, and I really loved the video game. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put it up there because the whole premise where they took everything that guys liked and they made it for a chick. So they didn't take anything out, If they liked, if guys, for instance, and I don't know if they sat down and did this or if they just winged it, but their interface was awesome. They had a really great way of going in between cutscenes and then dropping into a very realistic, I think most people off the drop kind of screw up and think that they're still in a cutscene when they're playing, but into a very realistic interface. But for instance, I'm sure there's probably mostly in the books with Bethesda's where they make these jokes, where if you kind of like ragging on older women and their sense of humor, you'll see that even in, when they're roughing lifts her tail and they're making Shakespearean references and so on, just very slightly with style, as far as style goes, which is how you wind up with, like it's from this region. That one was very slightly Shakespearean, and we tend to do that when we're teasing older women about their senses of humor. It's just a colloquialism in America. So now that I have this all mixed up, you're ready and waiting for the magic to happen, I'm just going to scoop it right back in there. Now it does say in the footer that you can add, bacon bits. You can kind of spice it up with some originality at this point. I completely forgot to get anything like that from the store. I was going to pick up ham, and then I totally forgot, but it doesn't matter because there she is. And she goes right back into the oven for, it should be at 375, and it's for about 15 more minutes. And there you have it. So that is the salmon with puff pastry. Just came out of the oven, 350, about 20 minutes or so, and then we plated it with baked potato and the leeks. So that was easier than you thought. I hope that you enjoyed coming along for the ride and doing a little bit of cooking around Tamriel. We will be putting the videos up one by one. We also still do video game reviews. We're still a beta tester, so hit the subscribe button, smash it. Tell all your friends that they can find everything that's awesome in gaming and what to play next. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video, and as always, much love.